Let's explain to the viewers how whiskey is made, because I think there are lots of misconceptions. They are confusing it with other spirits. So let's clarify
Well,
the
for
whiskey
whiskey, it's
process.
really it's grains, and it's barleys and ryes, and it basically ferments in a mash tun, and then they heat it up, and then this liquid comes, this like vapor turns into liquid, and then that liquid comes out, and then all the other stuff, it almost is like a beer. It's like taking everything to make a beer and heating it up to a really crazy temperature, and then putting it in this giant thing, this still, and heating it up to a really high temperature, and then getting the vapor, and then it gets this very like, it's a very fruity liquid that comes out. It's white. Some, depending on where you are, they have different names for it, but it's a very high alcohol volume liquid. And then it's with that liquid, they put it into different barrels. Now, in for bourbon, it needs American oak, and it's different for Scotland. Like every country has a different thing of what they call, but at the end of the day, you're taking this clear liquid, very high alcohol, and depending on the grains that you're using, things taste different. But in general, all this liquid that I've ever tasted is always very fruity. Some is more strawberry forward, some is more peach forward. It just depends on what the barley that they're using, or what the grains or the rye or the millets and all that kind of stuff, that whatever the mash bill is, it's like whatever their recipe is of grains to make the whole thing is what it yields, but it's always got fruit to it. And sometimes you get like a cereal note or a biscuit note or a chocolate note, and you're like, that's just the grain. I think that the coolest thing that I ever saw was in person, and I'm sure I've seen it in other places. I just saw it again, but the first time I saw this was Maker's Mark. Big bourbon company, big whiskey company, almost every country in the world, plenty of Maker's Mark. But the husband and wife, when they were trying to make it and decide what recipe they were going to go with, they made bread, because you can. It's grains. You can make bread. You put it in a thing, boom, you add some yeast, and now you've got bread. And they were tasting the bread to be like, that's the ingredient, that's the grain mix we want to have.
Oh, wow.
And I'd never seen that. And just 2 weeks ago, I was in Scotland for Macallan's 200-year anniversary. And at dinner, they served the bread made with the way Macallan makes their whiskey. And I'm like, this is what every whiskey company should sell bread. It'd be so cool. so yeah, it's all different and all unique, but they all kind of come back together. Whenever I see it, like no matter who I'm with, whatever we are, it always starts from a clear liquid. And then it's like Mother Nature, it's wood, it's barrels, it's climates. A whiskey from India can mature 9 years in like 5, because it's so hot there that the wood just swells all the way out. And then, when it comes back in, Taiwanese whiskey, same, matures really fast. Scotland takes a long time. It's cold. Some of the places I went to are on the water, so it's even colder. So like this, think of like our lives with wood. If you've ever, like, the door is stuck in the summer and then the door closes really easy in the winter, imagine that on a massive scale with a liquid inside.
Thanks for watching this video. You can watch the full podcast episode by clicking here, or watch another interesting video by clicking here. Let's continue the discussion in the comment section, and see you in the next one.